questioners if they want to ask a supplementary, and then go to the next question, and then back to the original. So the first questioner is question number 1. Mr. Dix, do you have a supplementary?
Excuse me, Chair. Barnet Alliance would like to present councillors with a small gift just to help you scrutinise this contract. If that's allowed, it will take so much. 2 minutes, and we hope it will serve as well.
Have we got to declare this on our list of interests?
Perhaps in the minutes.
Okay.
You can declare that you're working in the interest of the public.
Nice gesture, nice gesture. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Dick, we're starting, I've got 30 minutes there, so can we really get on with it? Do you have a supplementary to your question number 1?
Yes, I did. Without the gross income figures, which you clearly haven't answered the question, it is impossible to test the validity of any of these assumptions. Therefore, should this entire report just say, we've got a guarantee?
Well, I think, can I ask the leader to answer that? Leader, can you come to the table, please, and perhaps you might be able to help me answer that.
We have, Mr. Dix, we do have guaranteed savings, yes.
So the report's a waste of time, we just have a guarantee.
You've got your answer now. The next question will be question 31, Ms. Musgrove. Do you have a supplementary?
I do.
First, I'd like to point out that the answer to my question almost, well, each sentence is completely untrue. You say the joint venture option was set out on the energy notice and so on. It was actually dismissed as being too high risk. You say it's attractive, it's considered to be an attractive option following detailed discussions with bidders. I'm sure it was, but that was kept secret. It wasn't discussed openly with members at that stage, was it? And the decision was made by members of the corporate directors group, which is not an executive body. It's not the time to take that decision.
I don't think I need to remind you. It's a question. You've got a supplementary question.
I know, but that was correct. The answer which is completely untrue. And the third point is that the member panel was briefed on the options. That was much later after the decision had already been made by officers, which is not.
Your time of patience.
No, I'm sorry for trying my patience, because the answer that I have been given is not
Okay,
correct.
and you can say it's not correct, you can put in what your correction is and not that. Have you a supplementary?
I do have a supplementary.
Can you please give it?
I will give it. It's clearly exposed that, in fact, the whole of the One Barnet programme has been led, you've been led by the noses, Tory councillors, by the officers and senior management team. As regards to the risk assessment, if the joint venture was considered to be higher risk, and you've never had an independent risk assessment of the original business model, why then are you putting so much risk on something that hasn't been independently assessed? And when you're only going to save, we are now told, is £5 million, you've already spent £6 million, and our friends from Genesis and Empower on their fees. How is that a sensible saving, and why are we putting residents' taxpayers' money on such a small saving at such a high risk?
Thank you. Councillor Lamb, would you like to answer this question?
Thank you, Chairman. Happy to answer the question. We believe that the risk is a risk worth taking. As is indicated in papers in front of members tonight, and I'm sure we show in the presentation later on. As we go forward with the joint venture, up to 40% of the profits that are made through the joint venture come back to us as a council. That's a huge amount of money that we'll potentially be able to make and save us. Yes, potentially be able to make, and save us from making huge cuts in other areas of our frontline services.
Well, you should just run more competently and then
Thank you, thank you,
have a chance to make profit out of
Ms.
us.
Catry, please, thank you. Ms. Catry. Question 32, yes? Do you have a supplementary?
I do. Can the contract be changed materially if members of this scrutiny committee flag up any serious issue within the contract?
Okay, that's a question, that's a happy question, right?
That is the question.
Good question. Right. Neither, can you answer that?
The answer is yes.
The answer. Right.
You didn't do it last time. You came to
No,
a committee just like this one and we're on.
The question-
Nothing happened.
The question's been asked, the question's been answered. Question 43, Tue11. Have you supplementary?
We just say with the one syllable answer.
Ms. Wade?
That's an all problem. It's just-
Yes, question 43, no supplementary. Okay, fine. Question 46, Mr. Cohen. Have a supplementary. Yeah, you have a supplementary?
Otherwise, there was no reason for me to sit here, yes.
Ah, fine, yeah, very good, very good.
That's the conclusion, yes.
Yes, very good.
The answer says for dividend payments, the amount of dividends differ for different classes of sales. Can you please elaborate on this, how it differs and what are the different classes of dividends?
You're asking on question 46, a supplementary.
Yes. For dividend payments, the amount of dividends differ for different classes of sales.
I see.
So can you please give more details?
Right.
What are those classes?
Yeah.
And what's the amount of dividends for each class?
Thank you, you understand, so I do understand. Thank you. Councillor Mann?
Can I hand over to an officer to answer?
Yeah. This is a gentleman sitting in Charles, who's left the contract, as you can answer. Yeah.
Thanks, Chairman. The offer that is put forward by the preferred bidder, or close preferred bidder, differentiates when it looks at new business, which will generate the dividends for the council. It differentiates between work that is run in different parts of the country, and it differentiates between the types of work, and it differentiates between the processes that deliver those work. Now that differentiation then leads to the different profit share depending upon essentially the amount of input that the council
Yeah,
has
excuse
had
me,
into.
I understand that you already wrote it in the answer. I asked for the details of it. Please.
Okay, you've got the details are in the...
There are no details here. I asked for the details.
Well, the
What are the classes and how you allocate the dividends to the class? So you are not answering it, you are just repeating the question again.
We'll provide it.
Okay, it's a complicated answer, because they're different fashion. You provide an answer first, in my opinion. Okay.
I didn't have an
Thank you,
answer.
Mr. Cohen. Mr. Jacobson, number 50. Miss Jacobson, sorry.
Mrs.
Mrs. Jacobson.
Son.
Answer correctly, Mrs. Jacobson, sorry.
Sorry, S-O-N Jacobson, it would be so nice.
Jacobson.
Son,
Son of.
as in son of.
Son of, and Mrs.
Yes.
We will try to get it right, Mrs.
Thank you.
Jacobson. Right, number 50.
Yes, I was asked to provide further clarity to my question because they say it wasn't specific to the DRS contract. Here is your document on the DRS contract. If you look at 3.1, it talks about the corporate plan. It makes these claims for the corporate plan. Therefore, my question is about the DRS in this respect. So I would like an answer to the questions that I posed. How can benefit cuts in the requirement for people on housing benefit to contribute to council tax support families and individuals that need it? How can they promote well-being? And what evidence is there that they can and do that?
Thank you. Lee, would you like to...
Yes, we seem to be getting slightly off the subject of the matter tonight. I'm slightly concerned about this question, really, as I suspect this is really a question about housing benefit and council tax support rather than the DRS contract.
No, it's how does the DRS do what it claims to do, and if the question had been answered in writing, there would be no need to take time doing it now.
The answer is very easy. Any savings that the council makes helps everybody in the borough. Every taxpayer in the borough benefits by the savings we are going to make from this. And therefore, we are directly helping the poorer people.
And losses that you'll make?
Okay,
You don't make
thanks.
any
That's an answer.
Chair, the losses?
Councillor Davis, please, so we don't need any trouble. Councillor Mr. Dix, please. Question number 2, your supplementary.
Given that the business case is now so different from what was set out in 2011, is there a threshold at which you need to go back and review the business case? No. Because you may have missed out, for example, the in-house team. If you got it that wrong, you may have got the in-house team wrong.
Okay, I understand the question. Leader,
The complicated procurement rules that we have to operate under allow a period of continuous review. It has been a continuously negotiated contract as we've gone through, so that wouldn't arise now.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Catry? Catry number 33, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, it's Dr. Kateri.
Okay, Dr. Yes, I do. Is it spelled right? K-H-A-T-R-I?
It's spelled correct. It's just pronounced incorrect.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Dr.
So this is number 33.
Yep.
Supplementary question is whether Barnet Council will hold the views of residents who, in the answer that I've been given, have been deemed clients of the JV. Would the views of the residents be taken up by the council, and would the JV Co be held accountable to the residents, which are claimed to be clients in this sentence? And perfectly honestly, we don't want to be clients.
No.
We are the taxpayer. We pay all of you to be doing what you're doing.
It's a clever stance. Right, so there's a question. Councillor Vance, do you want to answer?
How will they be accountable?
Well, in terms of the JV is looking at services outside of the borough where we can make money. So residents, in that sense, I think will be affected, apart from having the benefit of the extra money that we're coming into the council, and therefore we once again be able to protect our frontline services.
It's just like your choice
If Barnet come into the council, and if they don't,
Dr. Canary, you know the rules. Next one, Ms. Weasel.
they're still mispronouncing my name even though I corrected you.
Kitty. Dr. Kitty.
Say the doctor correctly.
We're not supposed to be doctors.
Weasel,
Advisor, actually. On question 44, I don't have a supplement.
Okay, well, thank you. Then we come back to Mr. Cohen on question 47.
The question was how the £500 per annum for the training, and the answer was it is 400 per annum. So the question, supplementary question, for how many hours of training this £500 per annum are translated to?
The answer to this question isn't actually a definitive, you can't give a definitive answer. Obviously the training will vary in its expense per hour, so you couldn't give that figure.
It says £500 per person per annum. So each person will get £500 of training. So we can translate it per hours. So how many hours you are paying, you are getting for £500?
that will vary on the trading that's applied.
It didn't cross check. Right, then I'm debate on that. Thank you, Mrs. Jacobson.
Got one right. Thank you. The answer here is again a reply rather than an answer. So my 51. My supplementary is, since changing the DRS to a joint venture is a major change that will have impact on residents, what do you consider appropriate consultation, especially as the borough has been found guilty of not consulting?
Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Cooper, would you like to answer that, please?
Expert in consultation.
Thank you, Leader. The council will still have a strategic partnering agreement, a direct contract with the joint venture company, in exactly the same way as it would have a strategic partnering agreement if it were directly with Capital Simon Limited. There is no change in the structure and the way that contract particularly works.
Okay, thank you.
That's my answer to the question. Not the consultation.
If they're going by the rules, shouldn't they be actually answering the questions put to them?
Dr. Kitty, have we got your supplementary on page on number 34? Am I getting near the pronunciation?
You're getting warmer.
Thank you.
So, my supplementary question is rather, okay. How is it that we come here, ask you supplementary questions, we put questions to you in writing, we don't get any answers, we don't get any sensible answers from people sitting around this table, and you completely ignore our objections on the public gallery? So what kind of scrutiny committee is this, and how are you sorting, how are you actually calling yourself a scrutiny committee when you clearly refusing to give any proper response to the public questions?
I don't need to go to officers or cabinet members for that one. Completely, if you say, I think this committee and other scrutinies are doing a good job.
They are the ones asking the questions, they agree with
I'm
me.
not discussing it. It's up to the members of the committee to ask relevant questions, and they are asking relevant questions. I think you ask all the members of the committee, be it Labour or Conservative, you'll find that they believe this committee is doing
Then you should put
Okay,
it there.
thank you. Thank you, answer, Mr. Dr.
Maybe we should collect the magnifying glasses because you're evidently not making any use in them, as someone suggested here.
You're back to... We're back to 45, Miss Rachel. Are you with us this one? You got a supplementary?
I do to this one, yes.
Thank you very much. Okay.
You explain in your answer that the Borough Council will have the minority of the shares, and therefore my supplementary is, since in paragraph 8.1, I believe on page 38, I think, it states the guaranteed financial benefit over the contract term is £39.1 million. The Council is under no obligation to give its consent to any of the Capital Simon's proposals. The guaranteed financial benefit is Capital Simon's risk. My question is, as the Council has a minority shareholding, how can the Council enforce this statement?
Okay.
Chairman, through you we have a golden share on a number of key issues that enables us to stop things from happening, and we can exercise that when we want.
Is it magic?
Cooper looks like he wants to.
Perhaps I might add something as well, that there is a contract in place, and it is the contracts that will govern that.
You have only minority of the shares.
With the golden shares, it is
And also we have a contract with a bond from the parent company.
Right. Thank you. Number 14, Mr. Cohen. Do you have no supplementary? Okay. Number 54, Mr. Jacobson.
You just said that you have a minority shareholding, which you then refer to as a golden share, which some of us do not understand. But here in question 53, you say you have a nominal shareholding, which is a different thing from a minority shareholding. The meaning of the word nominal is in name only. So would you like to clarify not only what your shareholding is and what golden means, but whether, when you are so lax with language, at this level, you can assure us that the contract itself is not so lax that you will be tied up in legal knots from now till the end of time.
Just answer the second part of your question, which will annoy you. The answer is yes, but you do need some legal clarity on the first part of your question.
The reference to nominal goes to the financial risk, and that goes to the value of the shares. Now, because it's a limited company, what it's addressing in the question is that the council's financial risk, and this is about the company law, is limited by the extent to which it has not paid for shares which are allocated to it. Now, there are 49 shares, and the value of those shares will have nominal value, probably £1 each. So there's no real appreciable financial risk in the joint stock exchange.
Should you buy some? I love it in writing that there is no risk.
Mr. Dix, question 5.
Oh, 5 or 4?
Sorry, 4.
Not on 4 now.
No, number 35. No supplementary. Good. Then we have again, this is Jacob's on number 50.
54.
54.
Yes. Your reply to this is that it is considered risk, and then there's a complete non sequitur about how long the pages of specifications are. So my question is your answer to this question that I asked, no?
But Mrs. Jacobson knows I love a one-word answer, but that's worrying me now.
Yes, it was meant to. The question is...
Voiced by my own petard.
Can this person now guarantee that be adequate in every way? Sure, the answer is yes.
It has to be yes.
It has to be.
Yes.
Except it says here that it isn't. It's prudent to consider this a risk. If it's a risk, you cannot say that the specifications can be guaranteed in every way. Is that not true?
The answer is not no, but it's yes with the qualification. If it's a no risk, it's better than a not no risk.
I wasn't asking about the risk. I was asking if the specifications are adequate
The basic answer
The
is yes.
specifications are adequate.
in every way.
I believe so, yes.
He believes so.
He believes so.
Well, we'll have to put our faith.
Why do we have a assessment?
Yes, Mr. Dix, you've got to
Put your faith in capital.
Number 5, Mr. Dix.
Number 5. As you know, I'm a simple man and speak in a straightforward way.
Is that a question?
No, that's a statement.
Yes.
Why don't the council simply retain all of the cost savings and the 13% of costs that they're giving to Capita and let Capita make their money from the income growth? Because surely that represents a much less risky strategy.
But I think surely we're gaining more by, it's just the cost savings, only 3.8 million, we're gaining 39 million by growth items, which are guaranteed, aren't we? We're getting more out.
But you're giving
just
them.
the savings item.
You're giving
But
them.
I'll ask Mr. Good, that's just my question, your question. Good.
That's quite correct.
You're giving them 18.5 million quid of your costs. You're giving them that.
But we're getting what we weren't getting for. So
What I'm saying is, why don't you just swap it around? It just, from a risk profile, it seems a heck of a lot more straightforward to say, we'll keep the cost savings, we won't pay you the costs, you keep the savings, you keep all this additional growth revenue that you think you're going to get.
Exactly.
That to me represents a much less risky strategy. I'm just asking, why wasn't that considered?
Because Capita didn't want that.
I don't think we get the 39.1 million.
Well, you get-
Whereas the our method, we're getting 39.1 million. Okay. Okay, thanks for that. It's an interesting thought. We come back, we stick to the agendas. Again, 36, Dr. Shapiro.
Okay, can you please detail and specify exactly how this guaranteed financial benefit of 39.1 million is going to manifest itself?
Silence all around.
Well, I think the simple answer is in the reduced costs that the council will have. Instead of costing what it does now, I think the cost is 600k a year.
No, I'm sorry, that doesn't answer my question. You are saying that the contract has said within it, in black and white, that there is a guaranteed financial benefit of 39.1 million pounds. You as councillors and as the scrutiny committee and people who have looked at the contract must know how those guaranteed benefits are going to be made.
Yes, by reduced
How?
cost of running the service.
Of which services? How?
The
How are you going
DRS
to do it?
services.
Give me the numbers.
You had an answer.
No, but that didn't answer my question.
Okay, well, sorry about that. Mrs. Jacobs, 55.
Not on 55, not on 56.
And I'm just asking 55 at the moment. 55 is not no supplementary. Mr. Dix on 6?
Not on 6.
No supplementary there. Okay. Dr. Katiri on 37. Hello? Dr. Katiri, 37. No supplementary?
May I have the answer to the previous question to this one?
Have you supplementary on 37?
Well, if I was going to
Have
ask
you
the
an
question, you're not going to
answer?
answer
I take it as a no.
Take it as a no.
Mr. Denton, you already said on 56, you've got no supplementary, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, thank you. And I want to get as many questions to, with answers as possible there. That's at number 7, Mr. Briggs. Supplementary? Yeah.
My question is, surely this is an accrual, otherwise you may find yourself in a situation of having grades that you have to then service after the contract's finished. So surely it's an accrual, should be treated as revenue. There's a prepayment.
It's a good question, that. I must say, I haven't thought that question. I don't know the answer, but it's good. The answer, it's a fair question.
It is a fair question, Chairman. I'll come back with the risk answer.
Yeah. No, because technically, I think we have 1 minute left there, so Dr. Katiri, have you got a supplementary on 38?
Not that I'm hopeful to get an answer.
Do I say you've got no supplementary then?
No, I do.
Oh, you
I'm
do?
sitting here because I yes, indeed, I wish to speak because it's my turn. So, number 38. So, how many key performance indicators are being set for this contract? And how are they being monitored?
How many?
Key performance indicators are set for this contract?
How they are going to be monitored?
And what are they? And how are they being monitored?
There are 56 indicators that will be monitored, and they will be monitored by officers of the council. They will be further monitored by the contract performance committee, your elected representatives.
Okay, thank you.
And you didn't tell us what they are.
Well, 56 is
Can we release the list yet? No.
Could you please?
When can we release it?
You need to switch your mic.
Sorry.
At the point that the contract is released, we made a commitment, and you've made a commitment, that the contract will be released after it's signed, and at that point the KPIs will be provided as part of the check.
When it is too late.
Too late by then. I mean, already within question 30, response to question 38 and previously, we are being called customers. And we are not customers, we are not clients, we are taxpayers.
We are council tax. Some of you are council taxpayers.
One of us are council taxpayers.
We are all
Of questions.